Awesome. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Symmetry family. Awesome. My name is Stefan Brennis, and I'm with my key leader, top producer, Bill Hirschfield. A little bit about me. First of all, it's tax day, so hopefully you guys filed your extensions or got your taxes out of the way. I know I did. If it wasn't for the last minute, I don't think I'd get everything done here. So my name is Stefan Brennis, agency owner out of Los Angeles, California. I'm direct to Mr. Frank Brennis by way of Sean Kim, Cal Kimbrell, um, Ashley Tarr, and Danny Young hierarchy. So it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do this training. I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little nervous, but it's really an honor. So I became agency owner in 6 months. I contracted with Symmetry in December of 2019, but I was working full time and I wasn't able to focus. So I literally became agency owner on a part-time basis. So I'm excited to be here. Before Symmetry, I was working in the studios, um, working on a TV show, serving, right? Serving people on set. I had my own successful trailer rental business in that industry. And I was there for 13 years and I just wanted more. I'm about to hit a certain age and I'm like, do I want to continue doing this? I'm making really good money, but I don't have time and money, right? And that's why everybody comes here for the freedom of time and money. And my brother, we do a lot of things together. He founded the practice company, and we were doing that for literally less than a year. And we just realized that it just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a right race with the wrong horse. So we literally seeked out Symmetry and went out and flew out to see Sean Kim, and the rest has been history. It's been a blessing. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that it's been peaches and roses, but we're really honored to be here. Very, very grateful for the opportunity for Casey Watkins, Brian Pope, Brandon Ellison to be here. Thank you so much, and also for Juliana for monitoring this. So that's a little bit about me. I'm excited to be here. Bo, go ahead, just tell them a little about yourself as well.
Sure. Thanks, Stefan. My name is Bo Hirschfield. Super excited and grateful to be able to speak on this platform this morning. I'm in Los Angeles, California, direct to my cohort and friend here, Stefan Brennis, under Frank Brennis, Sean Kim, Kyle Kimbrell, Danny Young, the entire hierarchy. And yeah, I was bartending. That's what happens when you live in the city. I was bartending and making music here in Los Angeles for many, many years. And I was always looking for something. I knew I needed something more in my life, wanted to make more money, wanted more opportunity. And I found insurance through Craigslist and was with a practice company for a little while and was kind of just searching around, trying to find something that might stick, somewhere where I could really grow and find a better way of life. And I found Symmetry through Stefan shortly before COVID hit. I took a look at it. I wasn't quite sure. I was new to the industry, but when COVID hit, just over 2 years ago, that's when things really changed for me, and everything I was doing shut down. And I decided this is an opportunity for me to really jump in with 2 feet. And the reality is, anyone out there on this call, if you are new to this business or you're new to this company, that's really the most integral thing that you can do for yourself, is make a decision to go all in. Whether you're full-time or you're part-time, it's a mindset. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this a successful venture for myself. And that's what I did. So the world was in lockdown. I was in my apartment. I had very little to do. I just decided to make this thing work. And it's been a couple of years now, and it hasn't been all up. I've had some ups and some downs, but over the last 6 months, things really just started to gel, and my belief was there, and I started investing more in my business, and I was able to hit key leader in January and top producer in January, and I've been at a clip now over the past, like I said, 6 months of really kind of hitting my stride. And I'm so excited to have finally kind of gotten to a place where I feel like this is my career, and this is something that I can do and grow and build, and the sky's the limit here at Symmetry. So I'm, again, very excited to be on this call. Always excited to be here next to my brother Stefan, and let's get into it, my man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're fired up. Just a little backstory on that. For like 6 months to a year, I was sending Bo Hirschfield crickets.
Yeah.
It was crickets, crickets, crickets. And then COVID hit. He's like, he finally made a commitment, and we haven't looked back ever since, man. It's great. So, Bo Hirschfield right now is the #1 leader in submit and also net place in the entire Newbauer Agency, just over 74,000. So that's an average of about 24 to 25,000 a month. I choked last month, but I'm the #2. I'm at just right under 19-20,000 in net. So that's one of the reasons why you probably got called on to the call, I would think, right? So it's just being consistent. So let's get right into it, guys. I know we have a 30-minute stop, but what I do want to point out, can you guys see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay, great. So I'm going to point this out first because corporate does such an amazing job at giving us all the tools we need to be successful here. And if you haven't logged into HQ, or it's been a while, but even if you're a new agent or an old agent, right, just go to the training, right? And look right here, best scripts, real scripts, critical period. If you're calling your agency owner and saying, hey, how do I sell critical period? You got to do your part, right? Be proactive and learn the scripts. And I'm going to get into that in the presentation, but this is huge right here. 4 cornerstones of success. So I have it here. I'm not going to get into it now. I just want you to use this as a resource. Write that down, because literally what we're going to be presenting is going to be based off of this. And I put the presentation together beforehand, but I'm looking at, well, what does Symmetry have to offer? And I do have it on my wall. So I am a product of the product. So with that being said, let's get into the presentation. So successful prospecting. Well, what does that mean? I mean, it's such a broad topic. Successful prospecting and closing tips, right? I mean, we can talk days and days about that, but really what that means is Symmetry does all the prospecting for us. All we need to do is drive. That's it. So how can you become successful doing this? Well, you got to know your scripts, guys. Basic stuff. I mean, if you're not reading the scripts, if you're not printing them out, if you're not reading them when you wake up in the morning, reading them at night, between, as you call people, print out your objections, right? Be a student of your craft, right? Complete fast track. All right. If you haven't completed fast track, and if you've been here for a while, do it. Do it today. Make it a point to do it today. All right. Also complete Summit. Summit is awesome. It really, there's an income calculator where you can literally just look at how much money you want to make based off your contract. You can reverse engineer, and it includes the cost of the leads, right? Have conviction. This is so important, right, Bo? I mean, it's got to go from your head to your heart. If you don't have conviction, if you don't believe in what you're selling, honestly, none of this matters. None of this matters. And go all in. Right? Everyone that's successful here goes all in. I know the part-timers, you can't do it. You can't go all in for financial reasons or whatever the case may be. Have a full-time focus though, right? So part-time is not spare time. So these are so important. Bi-weekly leads, this leads are the bloodline of your business, right? Take massive action daily. What I mean is that you can't live in the past. The past is gone. The future is created by your daily activity, meaning that what you do today is going to take care of tomorrow. So take massive action. Very important, write this down, golden hours. All right, so this is huge. And I got this from a book by Jeb Blunt. I was doing this before, but I was never really intentional on my schedule. Golden hours are peak hours, peak dialing hours. Do 30 to 60-minute blocks 3 times a day. Morning for 30 minutes, afternoon, and then the evening when people are home. Those are your income producing minutes and hours. Hold those sacred. Those are non-negotiable, non-interrupted. Time is money. Literally, time is money, right? Delegate non-income producing activities as soon as you can. So as soon as you get in a position to where outstanding requirements, stick to your schedule. You want to delegate that as fast as you can. And then If you do this for 30 days, you will get out of a slump. Promise you. If you can do this consistently for 30 days, day in, day out, you will get out of any slump. Right? Right, Bo?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It all comes down to the activity, and it's your own ability to drive yourself. You know, the reality is you are in business for yourself here at Symmetry. You're not by yourself. You know, hopefully you're in a good team of people that are there supporting you. We have daily huddle calls. We have so much that we can plug into that feeds our belief and feeds our ability to get up day in, day out and put in the work. But at the end of the day, that comes down to you, right? You're going to have to be the one that's going to have to lead your own personal business. You're going to have to drive your train. But all of the tools that Symmetry has given us, it's really like the best thing you can do when you first coming into this business is just follow the guidelines. Just do your best to get out of your own way and just do what's being taught. You know, it's a turnkey style of business. So don't go rogue. Don't try to figure out things your own way. Like really lean into this system. And the more you do it, you will find your own personal style and your own way of communicating to your clients and to new team members. But at first, duplicate, just do what's being taught, you know, get that base level of knowledge and that base level of ability. And then from there, you can really grow. That would be my take on it. And that's definitely something that I have found that over time, if I just kind of follow the leader, and then, you'll find your own style of doing it, which is amazing.
Right. Yeah. Well, they say you got to be a good follower before you can be a leader. So know your numbers, guys. I mean, I know this is, like I said, this sounds very basic, but approximately 1/3, it's more like 25%. They're saying now, they're going to buy from you. Those are called laydowns. A third will never buy from you, and then the other third is where your sales skills, your sales ability comes into place, right? And that makes a difference between someone who's great and someone who's average, right? It's getting that 1/3 that you got to really work hard for, right? Most importantly, I say this till I'm blue in the face, guys. It's all about the daily activity. All about that. It doesn't matter if you're a new agent or if you're 80 and above. You track your dials, right? If you're in a position where you don't longer have to dial or produce your own income, you have passive income. Awesome. That's the whole goal here. But you track it daily. Right? And then what this does, it holds you accountable and honest with yourself. A lot of times we kid ourselves. We tell ourselves lies. We convince ourselves, that we're doing the work, right? But unless you're writing it down manually, that keeps you honest, right? What we say is turn that into your key leader. I know Bo Hirschfield did that literally week in, week out. He had chicken scratches all over the place, right? But we had the dials, we had it like literally was all over the board. He would dial until, we have at the Newbauer Agency, we have something called Rule 5, which is we've implemented it. And this is really an outline of that, right? So turn that in. You want to earn your upline's time by doing that. This shows them that you're serious. It shows them that you're putting in the work. And from that, they can help you. They can tweak. If you have a lot of dials, a lot of contacts, a lot of appointments, then they can help you with that or work with you there. But if you don't turn that in, there's really nothing they can do. So handwrite each dial, not on the computer. And then you want to hire a dialer once you master the fundamentals, right? Master the mundane. You want to be closing, in as many appointments as possible. And that also comes down to recruiting as well. So one thing I say is you cannot be delusional and successful in sales. You really cannot. Recruit and duplicate. Well, invest. So what I do is, and I'm guilty of it. I haven't been doing it. I didn't start out doing this. When you get paid, you want to invest back into your business. They say you're going to hear this often. Don't steal from your business. Well, portion of what, even if it's $100, set aside 25 back for leads, another 25 for recruiting, and then the rest. You're going to find your formula, but you want to pay your business first. Pay your business first, and that is with leads and also with recruiting. Start small. Start right away and have a small budget. Everyone tells you in this business, to start doing it right away. I wish I would have done it earlier. And I'm guilty of that too. We want to prove the model, but the more you get into these habits, the easier it becomes. Right? And then leverage HQ and all of the trainings and calls, guys. I can't say it enough. And that's the reason why I wanted to highlight what HQ, what the founders have done for us. It's all here. You just have to be proactive and read the material. You have to do it. No one else can do it for you. Your upline can't do it for you. You have to do it. You have to be the example, right? And plug in to win. It's really what it's about, right? So don't worry. Okay. When you're recruiting, don't worry. The winners will always identify themselves. You listen to Danny Young, he'll say, they leave clues, right? So this business, again, is not for everybody when you're trying to recruit somebody. If they're not doing the basic stuff, that it's really not for them. Don't worry about it. Move on to the next. It's literally a numbers game. All right, Bo. I know you're really good at this, getting paid daily. So you want to sell value, not the lowest cost. I know we had this issue in the beginning. We were selling a certain carrier, and we actually missed out on a lot of trips. Right? We were selling like fully underwritten. This is the best price for you. And what happened with that, Bo?
Yeah, it's a long road to failure. The reality is that, and we've all learned the hard way, right? Of finding the carriers, finding the products that stick. You can go for something that might look a little bit better up front for a client, but if it takes a month and a half to go through, and then half of it are either getting heavily rated or falling off, people are changing their mind because they haven't heard anything in a month. It's a great way to go out of business quickly. So we've really in our agency have focused way more on just moving quickly through, making sure we can get people covered quickly. So that's all about the SBLIs and using the carriers that have a quick turnaround, so that we're able to help people and then move on to the next family.
Yeah, I know you're really good at this. I call you at 7:38 you're in the morning. You're on the phone with the carriers. You literally are on the phone with the carriers, and it doesn't happen as much anymore because you're writing stuff that gets instantly approved, and that's the key, guys. If you're writing business that gets issued right away, you don't have to worry about this. You're getting paid daily. You're bankrolling your next week, and but if you do, you want to. It's like a baby. You have to take it from inception to birth, right? You have to walk it through, and it's your responsibility to do that. Nobody else's, right? Um,
100%.
yeah. So you want to handle all center requirements. So outside of the old golden hours, it's called the platinum hours, and that's when you handle all that stuff. You don't make calls to the carrier when you should be on the phone prospecting, right? So you have to separate those two, and the quicker you separate that, the more results you're gonna have. Reinvest deposits again back in leads and recruiting first. Very important. All right. So these are some successful prospecting mindset keys, guys. And again, it all starts um, by you making that decision. But these are some successful traits. Bo, go ahead, read these off.
Sure. First thing, guys, mindset. Like we said, it's everything. You're going to have some ups and downs. This business. It's just the way that this opportunity works. You're going to have some up weeks, you're going to have some down weeks. So you have to keep your mind right. Stay optimistic, believe in yourself, believe in this company. When you're having a rough time or a rough moment, lean into your upline, go take a walk, whatever you got to do to keep your mind in the game. Come back, wake up every day feeling like this is the day that we're going to break through. We're going to find we're going to find the people that are looking for what we have. And that just takes activity, time, it takes energy. I'm pretty competitive. I definitely like seeing my name up on that leaderboard. So it drives me. It's not so much I want to be better than the people in my team. I love all the people in my team, but it drives me to just stay there and stay consistent to make sure that I am moving forward in my career and bettering my opportunity in this business and in my life. So that little bit of competition of seeing the leaderboards, it helps fuel our success. um Stay confident, fake it till you make it too. If you're brand new to this business and you're feeling like you're drinking from a fire hose, just figure out from one appointment to the next the things that you have to know about that appointment, and then just come in like you know, right? You just got to have that winning mentality, because people want to buy from people that show that level of expertise and confidence. So you really just got to step up to the plate and own it. Just own it. And in time, you know, you will earn that more and more. But it's integral.
Yeah, I
You know,
think
and
this is such an
yeah,
important key. Manage your emotions, guys. This business is tough. You know, you get a cancellation, right? So the main key is keeping that pipeline full. Just once you submit an application, I don't want to say forget about it because there's going to be some outstanding requirements, but move on to the next. You want to build that pipeline as full as possible. So if someone drops out, no, doesn't matter. Next, right? Next, always next. Have a short term memory, and just keep plugging away. And that's part of being relentless, right? Bo, you talk about how you follow up on your calendar because I think
yeah,
you're a
I
master at
keep
this.
every single one of my clients is, as soon as I book the appointment, they go right into my Google Calendar. I book it, whether it's a phone interview or a Zoom. I don't do any in home, so everything is directly in my calendar, whether it be a phone interview or a Zoom call. And I get no shows just like the rest of you guys, but it stays in my calendar, and I relentlessly will follow up with every single person on my calendar until I get a flat out no. I don't give up on it, and I've closed many people down the line from just going back a month, going back 2 months, and just checking in, touching base, making sure that they know that I'm still here to help. Maybe the timing's not right. You obviously didn't answer the phone for a reason, but I still want to show you these options, and I still want to do my best to help you protect your family, protect your home. And the longer you do this business, the more people you'll have to follow up with. So that way you're constantly getting new leads. And then if you're following up, that's how you start to really turn over those 5,000, 10,000 APV weeks, because you're closing new business, but you have all these people that you can follow up with. Maybe someone got declined and ghosted you 3 months ago. Call them back, be like, hey, let's look for another program for you. I represent 40 different companies. That didn't work, and I know that fell off, but I don't think we should quit, because I believe I can still get you something, find some coverage for you. And that's a great way. The longer you do this business, the easier it gets because of that. You have more people to reach out to.
Yeah, and you know what's awesome about Bo is that he always makes it. He always puts it on him. And guys, so if we focus on the customer, not on our commission, and it's all in the core values right here, right? You know, we act like being of service. People come first, right? If we put them first, and we're no longer we're adding value, right? So what he does a lot is he apologizes. Hey, I'm so sorry I couldn't get to you. I'm sorry. He makes it on him to where he makes the customer feel special, right? So I'm sorry I couldn't do this. Hey, look, I know you're busy. I'm sorry I couldn't get to you. Hey, it's okay. And he really does that very well, and he has a lot of referral business that way. And guys, you have to be thirsty for knowledge. I know you plug in. People that are plugging in are the winners. They're identifying themselves, right? You don't have to ask them to get on a call, right? And these are all successful. These are all keys to having winners on your team. Systematic and efficient. We have a lot of systems in place. My brother's amazing at that. Frank Brennis, he's little. We have Slack. We have everywhere. We want access to things. We can get there to it right away. Slack. We also have just a lot of tools in place to be very efficient with your time and adaptive and flexible. So what this means is, but why don't you share with them what that means as far as being adaptive and flexible when you're going to
I mean,
preventing somebody
a lot of
actually.
these things, kind of all come together. And again, the longer you do this business, the more appointments you run, the more times, the more opportunities you have to fail. You learn from those, And Stefan and I have been doing this long enough that we've messed a lot of things up, and from that, you really learn ways to kind of pivot. We have to be ready to pivot at any time, and that's part of being a student of this game, and knowing that at any, we do an application and it gets declined on the spot. Is at the end of the appointment? Absolutely not. That's just strike one. We're going to quickly pivot, and we got to, I'm very ready to move to other options, or, you might present a few options and find that what you're presenting is not what the client is interested in. And they'll let you know. They're like, absolutely not. I'm not interested in term. I do not buy term. You know, this person had a bad experience with term. So you got to be ready to move to something different on the spot. And that's something that, you know, in time, I've really grown to be able to pivot quickly, you know, change on a dime at any moment if there's a reason that you got to go in a new direction. So that's just part of being a you know, a closer in this business.
Closing tips, which leads us to closing tips. Well, guys, I mean, I think closing really comes down to asking the right questions, getting a degree, and having conviction. So, first things first, ask questions why they want it. So if you can't elicit their why, then it's going to be very difficult to take an application, right? So fear of loss. What does that mean? What does that look like? You know, if you don't have this in place, you know, why do you go to work? Why do people save money for emergencies? Well, this is a guaranteed emergency fund. So asking the right questions, but in order, you need to find out why they want it. Don't proceed without knowing why they want it, okay? Because this is going to be the reason why they're going to buy. Number two, the other reason is going to be second order business. You have to find out what they can afford, right? So when people refinance their house, right, the loan officer asks them income, the 2 years history, right? They know exactly what they can afford, and that's how they can qualify for a mortgage. This doesn't have to be that intense, but you need to know. You need to ask what their occupation is and ask them what their net monthly income is. And you know, if they're retired, find out what their fixed income is. If they're serious, hey guys, if they're serious, they're going to tell you.
Yep.
If they're not serious, then they're probably shopping you, right? So I know Bo does this really well. You know, you kind of put them at ease. You know, you identify what they have discretionary after all the bills are paid, and what you do is you want to paraphrase that. So tell me, Bob, you know, at the end of the month, once everything is paid for, you know, you pay the gas, groceries, everything. I know gas is going up right now. About approximately how much do you have left over at the end of the month? You know, around 300 to 500, and have him tell you. Okay, so what I'm understanding, you have about 300 to 500, so that's comfortable for you. If we find a program around that range, yeah, that's comfortable. So now you know what type of programs you're going to put them in, right? And it's going to be all based off of budgets because people look at price. We can sell value all we want, but again, they have to be able to afford it, right? So, Bo, you want to just touch on this real quick, how you do it?
Look, get comfortable getting uncomfortable. You know, it can be uncomfortable asking people how much money comes in a month. You know, that's not something that we're used to doing, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to help. It's a doctor-patient type thing, and that might be in one of our other slides, but we are here to make sure that we can find you something that's going to make sense for you. You know, it all comes down to the role and purpose. It all comes down to making sure they understand what this relationship is. I'm here, Stefan, to make sure I can help you find something that A, you can qualify for, and B, that you can afford. Because if you can't qualify for it, guess what? It's not going to work. And if you can't afford it, guess what? It's not going to work. So you have to work with me to make sure I can help you figure out what that looks like. That way I can do my job for you, you know, as best as I can. So that, like, really being clear on how this relationship works and how our, you know, system is in place is important. And then when you get that, then you're like, well, that's why I'm going to ask you all these questions so that I can do my job for you. I'm working for you here. I'm here to help you. So help me help you, you know?
Absolutely. Tip number one, find common ground. All right. So how do you do that, Bo? How do you find common ground?
Sure. Yeah. So it's 9:29. So let's yeah. So look, the great thing about Symmetry, the great thing about Symmetry is so many people have found success in this business doing things their own way, right? What works for one person might not work for another person. So this is Bo specific. I really love to work with my clients and build rapport up front. I spend a lot of time at the beginning of the call. Granted, not everyone's going to work with me. And some people are just like, show me the numbers now. But if I can find people that are interested in sharing a short conversation before we get into the numbers, before I show you the role and purpose. I try to do that. I try to explain a little bit about my background. I'm from Northern California. I grew up up in the wine country, up in Sonoma County, but my mom's from upstate New York, and my dad actually grew up in Detroit, Michigan. And while I'm doing this, I'm fishing to find a connection point with my client. I'm going to ask them, have you ever been up there? Oh yeah, what areas, where are you from? Obviously I know where they live, but where did you grow up? What I'm trying to do is find a connection point where we can have a spark of a moment where we can connect on something. Because at that point, it really breaks down the barrier of, I'm an insurance salesman. I'm not. I'm just a guy that's here to help you with an insurance policy, but I want us to have a relationship because I want to build rapport. I want you to know that I'm going to be your agent on this, not just today, tomorrow, next week, in a year, 5 years. I'm going to be there for you if you need me whenever. I'm going to ask you to save my phone number in your phone so that if something happens, you know exactly where to turn to, you know who to call. And that's something that I really foster. I really like to work on that relationship with my clients up front. And I get a lot of referral business that way. And I get a lot of business that sticks because I really took the time to make sure they understand who I am, what I'm about, why I'm here. And then we can get into all of the numbers and help you find something that's going to make sense for you. So that's something that I've really, has grown a lot in the way that I conduct business over the last 6 months to a year, and I've seen my numbers really blossom because of that.
Absolutely.
So everybody operates differently, but that is something that I've found to be really effective.
Yeah. So in short, people buy you, right? Tip number 2: put them at ease, disarm them, and what you want to do is you want to assure that this is the beginning of a process, right? Role and purpose, Sicily and Ayers Newsom. I use that to this day. It's an amazing way of disarm the client. Also sets you up for critical period. But most importantly, what we're going to do is we're going to take action by starting the process by letting you know that we're taking an application today. Um, be very assumptive. Again, this is so important, and this is cool. You do this really well, Bo. Kind of share your take on this one right here.
Yeah, I always try to let people understand how our process works. And the way what's going to happen today is I'm going to show you some options. You're going to pick the one that you like the best. I'm going to help you with the application. But we're not finalizing anything today. You're going to want to think about this, and I want you to think about this. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the application. We're going to see if you get approved. Then you're going to have some time to chew on it, to think about it. We're going to review it together. We're going to hop on the phone next week just to make sure it all makes sense. And if you want to make any adjustments, I'm going to help you with that. If there's something that's unclear, I'm going to help you with that. So don't feel like anything today is being finalized. It's not. Today, we're just taking an application, starting the process, see if we can get you approved, what you get approved for, and then we'll have plenty of time, to think about it, to chew on it, and to make sure that you want to keep it as is, and then we'll go from there. So it's important that you kind of set that up early so people understand that we are applying today, but we're not finalizing today, and that's going to
awesome. You basically preempt to think about. You preempt it, right?
So, as much as I can, absolutely.
So, obviously, show 3 options, and then ask for the so. What does that mean? So, when you show the 3 options, guys, so important is that you just let them think about it, right? Let the silence do the heavy lifting. A lot of times, I see it. Some of my agents, they get nervous and they show the 3 options, and then once they show the 3 options, they just continue talking. You just have to just be quiet. It's okay to be quiet. I've been quiet for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. It's okay. Let them talk. They're processing that, right? Once they're okay, what can I afford with this? And let them process all that. Don't interrupt that process, right? And if they're still not saying anything, then just go on to the application. You transition to that, right? So again, it's a doctor-patient relationship. For example, we have those ready to go, right? Have that ready to go. Right there, the next one. I'm just starting on it.
Yep.
So
yeah.
this real quick. So let me just finish this up. Okay. So doctor-patient relationship, and then transition tip number 4, transition to online application. Like I said, have those ready to go. Applying to get approved, not finalized. And what I do is I like to ask for the beneficiaries first. People, they right there, it's about their family. Ask for that first, and then go to the driver's license. And that's a huge, huge tip, right? Because that's why they're doing it. They're doing it for that reason. And then number 5, you're really good at this, Bo. Once you get them to complete the application, once it's submitted, you literally have them write down your name and number, and you reassure them that you're going to be there every step of the way for any changes. And you literally set up a follow-up appointment, right?
Yeah. Make sure you get something on the books next week. Like even if it's a policy that might not be closed at that point, still put something on the books. Be like, hey, I just want to follow up with you. Let's just touch base. Let's plan. And that just shows your commitment to being their agent and making sure that you're there for them. I always tell my clients, you can call me morning, afternoon, or night. You can. Doesn't matter. If you need me, something comes up, you have a question, you have a comment, you have a concern about this, you wake up with cold feet, just call me, please. Let's go back over everything just to make sure that you feel 100% comfortable and cozy with what we're doing today. It's incredibly important to me that you feel that way. So I go way out of my way to make sure my clients understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, I would recommend taking a screenshot. And again, finally, you got to personally develop. The person you are today is not going to attract that person that is going to help grow your business. You got to continue to grow. You got to be ahead of the people that you are developing. All right. So the law of the lid, Maxwell talks about it. You have to be ahead. So how do you do that? You do that by reading daily. I strongly recommend this book, Jeb Blunt, Fanatical Prospecting. He talks about time blocking. It's so applicable to insurance and what we do. The good news, like I said, we don't have to do a lot of prospecting. We do prospecting. We buy leads. It's a turnkey system, but this can apply to recruiting. Jeb Blunt, it's an amazing, amazing book. He also has a podcast. And I want to leave with this. This is so significant, guys. You know how there's this debate about who's the greatest basketball player? Michael Jordan, he played all full seasons, all 82 games 9 times during his career, which is the most underrated aspect of his career. So what does that mean when it applies to what we do? Consistently, day in, day out, the most consistent, putting in the work. He's the one that's literally by far, he did it 9 times. The closest Hall of Famer was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He only did it 5 times. And you look at where Kobe, Kobe's a monster, right? I mean, he only did it 4 times. If you look down at the bottom there, look at LeBron James. 1 time. Obviously, the game's changed a little bit, but Magic Johnson was in the same era that Michael Jordan was, and he never completed the full season, never played all full games, all 82 games. So what does that tell you? Pretty amazing stat, right? So hope you guys learned something. I know we went a little bit over. Thank you so much for your time. Very blessed and very grateful to have the opportunity to present to you our take on.
Stefan, what was the name of the book again? Nicole Jones was asking.
Go back. Let me see. It's Jeb Blunt. I strongly recommend you guys get it. Jeb Blunt, Fanatical Prospecting, and it's on Audible. I'm already at 15 books for the year.
Crushing it.
Yeah, reading is tough for me, but Audible I can do all day long.
And then a couple people asked if we can put this slideshow somewhere, so we'll figure out somewhere to share this. But thanks so much for having us. What an honor and a pleasure to be in this company at such a great time. And everybody just stay on it. Go get it.
So you guys, I couldn't get a chance to read the questions, but let's see. Can you look at some questions for me?
Yeah, they want. That's what I was saying. A couple people asked if we can post your slideshow somewhere, and I don't know how we're going to do that, but we'll talk to corporate and figure that out. The other question for you, Stefan, is it says you recommend only dialing in hour slots. Is that because of focused mindset? What's the reasoning that you kind of break that into short periods?
Well, the book will break it down, but literally you're going to burn out, right? I mean, you literally can accomplish 500 plus dials by doing it this way. Within a 30-minute window, I'm dialing 30 to 40 times. So 3 times a day, that's 120 dials a day. And it's very doable, but you do it without any distractions. And I promise you, your your appointments are gonna book up, your pipeline's gonna fill up. You do it for 30 days, you'll get out of any slump. I promise you that. So it's just concentrated effort because it's very draining to sit there and dial all day. It's not realistic, and people burn out that way. So break it up into 3 different time slots. Start with 30 minutes, and then work up to an hour. But it really makes a difference in your business by doing it this way. Absolutely.
Beautiful. Awesome.
Okay, guys. Well, we went over. Thank you so much. 10 minutes over or so. God bless you guys. Have a powerful week. Happy Easter for those who celebrate Easter. And I know it's tax day, so all your problems are solved by dialing. So
There you go.
get on the phones.